Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be working with the Stick It Down July 2021 double page sketch. And this month, rather than creating a scrapbook layout, I will be creating a journal entry. So I'm planning to use these embellishment pieces, which are homemade using a cut file design. And I will be using various different pattern papers for the background. Some of these are on branded paper, some of them are branded, some are just remnant paper pieces. They mostly blues. I did choose one pattern paper which was a purple watercolor pattern, and I chose that to tie in the foil die cut embellishment pieces. So I did cut some of the process out here, which was creating the paper strips, which is quite self-explanatory. And I'm just adding the paper pieces, paper strips to the journal. So that little piece is just a little bit too short, so I'm cutting it in half and then covering the gap with the main photo. And on the other side, instead of using 9 photos, I'm using 3 photos and a paper piece. And I'm just trying to find the right way of placing these. I have to overlap them in order to make them fit onto the page, and I don't really like how it looks. So in the end, I'm ending up trimming the photos around the edges just to make them fit onto the page. Of course, this means that I'm losing the white frames from around the edges, but that's okay, I can live with it. And I'm just shuffling the photos about, playing with the placement. And at this point, I realized that I wanted to talk about the sketch at the beginning of the process video and the changes I made to it to accommodate the layout of my journal. So I'm rectifying this in here. And as you can see, rather than using the double page sketch as one, I cut it into 2 halves and rotated the 2 halves clockwise separately. So on the left side, this creates horizontal paper pieces with a vertical orientation photo. And on the right hand side, the photo grid at the top of the page and a couple of paper pieces at the bottom. But somehow I really don't like the look of this, so I end up putting the photos in the middle and one paper piece at the top and one at the bottom, which makes the layout a bit more balanced. And then I'm adding a piece of cardstock to the back of the photo, and I'm doing this not so much to lift the photo off the background, to add dimension, because I don't really like a lot of dimension in my journals. It's more for making the photo a little bit more sturdy, so when I start tucking embellishment pieces underneath it, the bulk of the embellishments will not warp or damage the photo. And then onto the embellishing bit, I try to keep as close as possible to the sketch for the placement of the embellishment clusters. I kept the vertical line of embellishments on the left side of the main photo. I also kept the one at the bottom of the photo grid. And then the third embellishment cluster, which is at the top of the main photo, I moved that onto the right side of the layout on top of the photo grid. For embellishment, I wanted to use some inspirational quotes on this layout because the subject matter was quite a big thing for me and something that I was quite worried about doing. As you can see, I'm trying open water swimming on the photos, and it was just something that I wanted to try for a very long time, and I have been quite nervous about it. So I wanted to use some inspirational phrases just to reflect how I was feeling. So prior to filming, I went through my stash and I pre-selected some potential sticker sheets and embellishment packs I might use for this layout, and these are all from different Pinkfresh Studio collections. And here I'm just having a closer look. The choice is quite overwhelming, so I'm trying to pick out pieces that would be suitable for the layout, and some of these I'm putting to one side as potentials, and some of them I'm putting straight onto the layout. And I'm also using the little die cut pieces that I mentioned previously. So these cut files are from Pear Tree Cut Files, which is a UK online shop. So I bought these cut files in a digital downloadable format, and what I tend to do is, rather than cutting the images out straight away, I tend to foil the images and then cut around the outlines to create little gold foiled embellishment pieces. So I'm having a bit of a time with the placement of these embellishment pieces. I want them tucked behind the photos, but I also want them to be visible enough to be recognizable, and they are quite small, and they were printed on a paper with a watercolor design, so they do kind of blend a little bit into the background. So this process was a little bit time consuming. So around now I'm getting to the point where I'm quite happy with how my layout is looking. I wanted it to be quite rich in embellishments, but I didn't want the embellishment to completely overtake the photos, and I also decided, quite unusually for me, not to include any journaling because I thought that the photos and the sentiments from the embellishment pieces were quite self-explanatory. I'm just adding some gold ink splatters to complete the layout, and I think that is it. Yes, it is, because I'm packing away. So thanks so much for visiting my YouTube channel and watching my process video. Here are some close-ups of my finished layout, and don't forget to keep checking back to the Stick It Down blog for weekly inspirations. Thanks for watching. Bye now.